And we begin tonight with the storm damage across the river valley after storms rolled through this morning. The National Weather Service has confirmed an EF1 tornado touched down in Ozark. Storm caused damage to some homes. It downed trees and power lines. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported. Thanks for joining us for your 5 News at 10. I'm Darren Bob. That tornado also left damage behind for some farmers. One Ozark peach farm is now cleaning up after the storm, while also dealing with an already very tough growing season. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer gives us a look at some of that damage.
Ricky Paxton's favorite part about growing peaches?
Eating them. Cobblers.
They're the reason he started Paxton Orchard more than a decade ago. But what's not so sweet, Monday morning's EF1 tornado.
I've had high wind before, but this must have been a little bit better.
The strongest damage was to his barn,
Just too much wind.
where part of the roof was ripped away.
I thought, man, my air conditioning is really getting loud.
Now standing in its place, a large gaping hole.
It was so loud, I couldn't hear much of anything but the roar.
What already wasn't a great season for peaches, this storm made things even worse. These trees are usually supposed to produce about 200 to 250 bushels of peaches. This year, Ricky says he's only going to get about 20 to 25.
I took care of them good, but we had about 2 or 3 days of that last freeze.
First a cold snap and now the tornado. He lost both a peach and apple tree.
I said, there goes the rest of the peaches.
And peaches aren't easy to grow, which makes losing them much harder.
When you do get some peaches, you cherish them. When you lose a tree, then it's kind of like, you know, that's one of my babies.
Ricky says he'll soon start moving things out of his barn to prevent further damage and says he's hoping for a sweeter peach season next time around.
You just gotta take nature as it comes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
In Ozark, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
And as the county cleans up, homeowners figure out what to do next. We heard from one organization who was there to help out. Lions International set up a trailer filled with essential supplies. Everything from soap and toothbrushes to personal hygiene items and baby supplies. The group told us today the goal of the trailer is to help families focus on recovery without having to worry about replacing everyday necessities, as some have had to leave their homes.
That can help them in a moment's notice, like this trailer, to me is a very important task. I've been in charge of this trailer for the last 4 years, and there is nothing like going into a community that needs help and to see the faces on the people that receive that help. It kind of tugs on your heart quite a bit.
Red Cross is also helping families who have been displaced by the storm, and the storms didn't just cause damage to our area. Garland and Saline County saw some damage as well. This was the scene in Hot Springs this morning. They dealt with some closed roads because of downed trees and a downed power line. Thousands also lost power in central Arkansas for most of the day, including 4,000 customers in Conway County alone. Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert joining us now, the National Weather Service, with some new details on the storm. We do know it was an EF1, but we also know a lot more than that.
Yes, right. We know that the path of this tornado was about 3 miles, starting on the west side of Ozark. It actually started north of 64, kind of dropped south of 64, back north, and eventually it turned a little bit more towards the southeast, crossing the Arkansas River there. 400 yards wide, so 4 football fields wide. That was the maximum width of this tornado, the maximum winds there at 105 miles an hour. Wish I could say we're done with severe weather for a while. Unfortunately, we do look at another risk zone for tomorrow. It's a level 1 out of 5 for all of the 5 News viewing area. Looks like we got a level 2 off towards the west. Now, these types of storm systems, they're known to be fickle, so we'll have to watch and see what changes happen overnight tonight. It's definitely going to be a warm day for a lot of us. 80 Paris, 85 Fort Smith Van Buren, how about 78, 77 in Bentonville and Rogers, respectively. Plenty of humidity, so perhaps not as hot as it was today, but with the humidity in the air, you're not going to notice much of a difference. We're not only tracking a busy pattern for tomorrow, but again on Wednesday and Thursday as well. At times, there's going to be this potential for some severe storms. We'll walk through the latest there, the potential for some flash flooding. It's all part of a weather pattern that is only going to linger here for a few more days. As it moves away, it's going to be replaced by some really hot and humid weather. We'll track it all in your 10-day forecast.
Hey, all right, Scott, thanks. A Washington County jury has found Casey Jennings guilty of killing his ex-girlfriend, Allison Castro. The jury will now decide this week if he will be sentenced to the death penalty. Jennings was found guilty on all charges, including capital murder, evidence tampering, and abuse of a corpse. He was arrested in 2022. Prosecutors argued Jennings used a 12-gauge shotgun to kill Castro and later dismembered her body. They later showed evidence of Jennings admitting to the murder and showing investigators where he got rid of her body. Police were also able to recover severed legs in the White River. The trial lasted a week, and now Jennings awaits sentencing. We'll, of course, have the decision from the courtroom right here on air and on our website, 5newsonline.com. The state of Arkansas has joined in on the lawsuit against popular kids game Roblox. Regulators allege the game has become a, quote, predator's playground. Roblox continues to defend its servers, saying they've taken steps to keep your child safe. But tonight, Attorney General Tim Griffin says he wants to crack down on protecting Arkansas youth. Tanya Modern-Zitsky shares more now on what prompted the Attorney General to join this legal fight.
For millions of kids, Roblox is a place to play, and Discord is where they connect with friends. But Arkansas officials and Alexandra Walsh, who represents a law firm behind the civil suit, say behind those screens are dangers many parents never see.
Roblox has known that, in fact, this is a playground for predators, that it is an easy way for really dangerous people to get access to our kids.
Now the state is suing both companies, accusing Roblox and Discord of creating environments where kids can be exposed to predators, explicit material, and harmful online interactions.
Roblox calls itself the #1 gaming site for kids and teens, and it assures parents that it takes every precaution possible to protect children. That's false.
Attorney General Tim Griffin says the lawsuit focuses on protecting kids and holding companies accountable for the promises they make to parents.
They have had every opportunity to change it, to stop it, to do something about it, and they have refused to do that. Why? Because they're making a lot of money.
The complaint also alleges the companies marketed their platforms as safe for minors while failing to provide adequate safeguards and warnings.
Roblox quietly reports to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children thousands of reports of inappropriate, dangerous, predatory behavior.
Walsh, a partner at the law firm, Anna Paul Wise, says parents need to be careful when letting their kids play online.
That's a decision each parent has to make for themselves, but you need to educate yourselves and don't just listen to what Roblox and its executives have to say about the safety.
That was Tanya Modern-Zitsky reporting. In a statement from Roblox, it says it launched a new age-based account and are constantly strengthening user protections. You can find that full statement on our website at 5newsonline.com. All new tonight, Van Buren City Council approving issuing $2 million in bonds that will replace water lines under Main Street. The city's director of utilities tells us it'll replace about 2,000 feet of aging infrastructure that's more than 70 years old.
The current lines down there were installed between 1893 and 1955, so the benefit will be improved flow and connecting other sections for improved flow throughout the city from our water system and replacing their, again, 70-year-old infrastructure.
City already issued $3.75 million in bonds to fund part of that project. Now, the utilities director says water and sewer rates will not be impacted by this. They say they'll work with residents on any traffic disruptions. Springdale City Council will declare a special election tomorrow night for a vacancy in the Ward 2 council member seat. Aaron Huntley resigned from his position last week. According to an ordinance, candidates looking to get on the ballot can file July 29th through August 5th. They'll draw the ballot in mid-August. The election will happen, of course, in November. Meanwhile, Fort Smith City directors are expected to discuss with state lawmakers potential legislative action dealing with the situation at Baptist Health Fort Smith. It would involve changing how Arkansas hospitals notify the community when services are reduced or the hospital is closing. A city memo says it would require healthcare systems to provide advance notification to the city and the county. It was first brought up back in March, but the directors tabled it to hear directly from lawmakers. Comes after Baptist Health Fort Smith services were cut, where 10 departments were affected and more than 200 employees were laid off. This was the scene at the Fort Smith Police Department today as Officer Kyle Newman returned for the first time since getting injured in the line of duty. Newman was shot in the neck last month during a DWI investigation, and today he was honored with the Medal of Valor and Purple Heart from the department. The department didn't say when or if Newman will be cleared to return to duty, but the department says in the meantime they are thankful for all the community's prayers and the inspiration Newman has been to his fellow officers.